Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into what's happening with KC coming out of the bye week. We've got the latest news, some interesting coaching comments, and frankly, some pretty concerning metrics.
Yeah, they got the week off, sure, but they're returning. And
Yeah.
honestly, there seem to be more questions now than before they left. Big uncertainties, left tackle, running back depth.
And they're walking right into a huge divisional game against Denver, whose defensive line is, well, statistically the best in the league right now.
No question.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Andy Reid did mention some good news, and we'll get to that. But we also have to look at the situation. The player updates are a bit confusing. And the math. The math says this next game is pretty much a must-win.
Definitely high stakes.
Let's start with the offensive line. That feels like priority number one, given who they're playing. What's the latest health-wise?
Okay, so there is some definitive good news here.
Yeah.
Reid confirmed. Coaches are back. Players are back in the building. Josh Simmons included. And importantly, the word on Jawaan Taylor. Reid apparently said Taylor was feeling pretty good ankle-wise after that flight back from the Bills game.
Right, the long flight.
Exactly. And Reid wrapped it up with, I think we'll probably be okay there. So, that feels like a potential problem averted.
Assuming okay means, like, ready to play against that Denver front.
Well, yeah, that's the qualifier, isn't it? But it's still a relief.
It is a relief, because if Taylor is limited, that just throws the whole tackle situation into chaos. But the big question mark is still left tackle, right? With Josh Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons, he came back last week, November 3rd, apparently. The idea was to use the bye week for reacclimation.
But Reid's comments were cagey. Is that fair?
Cagey's a good word. Vague, maybe? He just said he wants to see where things are at.
And when someone asked directly, did Simmons actually work out with the trainers in the building?
Reid totally sidestepped, said something like, I'm not going to get into all that, but I know he's been working out for sure.
So what's going on there? Is it conditioning? Or is it maybe like Reid wants him to earn the spot back from Jalen Moore?
I think the sources kind of suggest it could be a mix of both.
Yeah.
I mean, Reid did call Jalen Moore, who's been filling in at LT, a good player.
Right. He said, we have a good player there now.
Exactly. Which, that implies Simmons might not just walk back into the starting role. Moore's done a decent job, respectable certainly.
For a midseason fill-in, absolutely.
But this week,
yeah,
against that Denver D-line, it's on another level compared to the Bills. So if Simmons is genuinely healthy, you have to think they play him right, more solid, but you probably your best possible option there.
And this matters for you, the listener, because of the potential domino effect. If Taylor isn't 100% on the right side,
then Simmons being ready becomes even more critical.
Yeah.
It means Moore could potentially, kick over to the right side to cover for Taylor.
Keep things somewhat stable, at least.
But if Simmons isn't ready, then you're potentially exposed on both edges. It's a really delicate situation.
Okay, so the line's got issues protecting the QB. What about the running game providing some help? That room seems confusing, too.
Yeah, let's talk running backs. Isaiah Pacheco, RB1, obviously missed the Bills game.
Yeah.
MCL injury. And Reid, totally non-committal about him returning after the bye. Just a simple, I'll have to see.
Which doesn't exactly fill you with confidence, does it?
No, it makes you think Pacheco might miss more time. And if he is out again, we saw some strange decisions before the bye.
You mean with Elijah Mitchell?
Exactly. Mitchell's the most expensive back on the roster, right? $1.75 million cap hit this year. But he's been a healthy scratch all season.
So here's where it gets weird. Like you said, Pacheco goes down. Instead of dressing Mitchell, the guy already on the active roster, they elevate Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CEH, from the practice squad.
And CEH plays, 2 snaps?
2 snaps. So why? Why elevate someone for 2 snaps instead of using the rostered guy?
Well, Reid had a specific reason. He basically said CEH knows all the protections. He's done it.
The pass pro angle.
Yeah, Reid called CEH our guy for emergencies, said he provides comfort because he knows the system inside out, even though Reid also made sure to say Mitchell is a very sharp kid.
So comfort and system knowledge over maybe pure running talent in that specific backup role.
Seems like it. They prioritize the pass protection knowledge, just in case.
Okay, but let's be fair. If Pacheco is healthy, is this really a bottom 5 running back room in the NFL? That assessment feels a bit harsh, maybe. Isn't it more about the depth if Pacheco's out?
That's a reasonable point, But I think the assessment still holds water because depth matters so much when injuries inevitably happen in the NFL.
And we know the front office kind of agrees, right? Because they tried to make a move.
They absolutely did. They apparently made a real run at Brees Hall from the Jets at the deadline.
Wow, Hall would have been huge.
Huge. But the word is, giving up a third-round pick felt like a bit too rich for a half-year rental.
So they balked at the price.
Yep. They knew they had a potential weakness there, tried to fix it, couldn't land Hall, and now, well, if Pacheco misses more time, they're sort of exposed.
Okay, switching sides to the defense. This is where things get maybe even more concerning, especially this week. Let's talk about that Denver defensive line again.
The numbers are just,
Yeah.
wow. They lead the league with 46 sacks. 46.
How does that compare to second place?
Second place is a tie between the Steelers and Seahawks. They both have 32.
So Denver leads the league by 14 sacks.
14 sacks. It's staggering. And meanwhile, KC, they have just 20 total sacks all season.
20. So that's 26 fewer sacks than the team they're playing this week.
26 fewer. Look, there's a reason this disparity is being called the greatest concern on the entire roster right now.
Yeah.
It's a massive, massive gap.
And just like with the running back spot, the team knew this was an issue, didn't they? They tried to trade for pass rush help, too.
They did. Sources say they made a late, strong push for Boye Mafe from the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Young guy, 26, good player.
But Seattle pulled back.
Right. Yeah, apparently Seattle changed their mind right near the deadline. So again, they identified a need, tried to address it, and came up empty. Love the D-line a bit shorthanded.
And that lack of depth, it seems like it's having a real visible impact on their best player, Chris Jones.
It really does. I mean, he's still an elite player, obviously. But if you dig into the metrics, there's a noticeable decline this year compared to last season. It suggests he's just having to do too much.
Okay, break down those numbers for us. Jones in 2024 versus 2025.
Right. So 2024 season, Jones had the second highest pass rush grade among interior D linemen. And he was number one, first in pass rush win percentage. Elite stuff.
And this season, 2025.
Those numbers have dipped. He's down to fifth highest pass rush grade, tied for fifth in total pressures generated, and maybe most telling, he's dropped all the way to 13th in win percentage.
13th, wow. So what's causing that drop? It can't just be the failed trade for Maffei.
No, it's a combination of things, really. Three main factors seem to be driving it. And honestly, it probably explains some of those, viral clips where he looks exhausted, almost like he's appearing to give no effort sometimes.
Okay, what are the three factors?
First, well, age. He's 31 now.
Yeah.
That's typically past the absolute peak for a defensive lineman. Second, the supporting cast around him just isn't as good this year.
Turk Wharton's absence hurting there.
Huge factor. And guys stepping in like Hughes or Tillery, their win rates are way down, like under 7%. Compare that to Felix Anudike-Uzomah last year. Before he got hurt, his win rate was almost 10%. That kind of pressure helps free up Jones. They don't have that consistently now.
Okay, age, supporting cast. What's the third and you said maybe most alarming factor?
His snap count. It's way up.
How much?
He played 71% of the defensive snaps last year in 2024. This season, he's up to 80%.
An 80% snap share for an interior lineman.
Yeah, that's a massive workload. That 9-point jump basically means they're leaning on him so heavily to make up for the lack of depth elsewhere. And you can see it. He looks worn down at times.
Okay, so all of this context, the O-line questions, the RB depth, the D-line disparity, Jones's workload, it all feeds directly into why this weekend's game feels so massive. Let's talk AFC West standings.
Yeah, let's lay it out because it's pretty stark. Heading into this game, Broncos are 8-2.
Okay.
Chargers are 7-3. And crucially, the Chargers hold the head-to-head tiebreaker over KC right now.
And KC.
KC is sitting at 5-4. That puts them 2.5 games behind the Chargers in the loss column. This is not the position they're used to being in.
Not at all. 9 straight division titles. So this is why we keep saying must win, right? KC is actually favored by 4 points, even in Denver. But they lose this game.
The math gets brutal. If the Broncos win this game, the sources crunching the numbers say KC's chances of winning the AFC West plummet to just 9%.
9%. Wow. After nearly a decade of dominance, that really frames the urgency.
Huge urgency.
Now, Reed was asked about this, about maybe a lack of urgency given their past success. He pushed back hard on that.
Yeah, he denied it. The guys have a lot of energy, just need to clean up a couple things. He actually mentioned parity in the league. I think he meant parity.
Yeah, maybe he's a Weird Al fan.
Could be. But his point was, because of parity, you need urgency every single week. You can't coast.
And he's right, especially looking beyond the division. The wild card path isn't easy either.
No, it's tough. They've already lost head-to-head games against potential wildcard competitors like the Jags and the Bills. Those tiebreakers matter.
So stacking wins is critical. The good news, I guess, is their division destiny is still technically in their own hands.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
They still have 4 divisional games left. Broncos twice, Chargers once, Raiders once. So if they run the table in the division, they can still win it, but they absolutely cannot afford another divisional loss right now, especially this one.
Okay, so let's recap. We got some relief maybe with the Taylor injury news. That's positive. But that's immediately countered by the fog around Josh Simmons at left tackle and the whole confusing situation in the running back room, especially if Pacheco is out again.
And looming over all of it is this game against a Denver D-line that is statistically dominant in a matchup where a loss basically tanks their division hopes.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, like you said earlier, the theme really seems to be about roster depth or maybe the lack of it.
I think that's undeniable. Look at the deadline moves they tried to make. Going after Breece Hall, a running back rental. Going after Boye Mafe, a pass rusher rental.
That tells you the front office knew they had weaknesses, right? At RB depth and pass rush depth.
Exactly. They saw the issues. They knew they probably needed reinforcements, even just for half a season.
Yeah.
But they hesitated. Maybe on the price, maybe thought they could get by. And, well, now they have to live with those decisions.
Which brings us right back to Chris Jones playing 80% of the snaps. That feels like more than just a player thing.
It feels like a symptom, doesn't it? A symptom of maybe not acquiring or developing enough quality depth behind him and others.
So here's the final thought maybe for you, the listener, to chew on. How long can this team, even with its elite talent, rely on its superstars playing these huge snap percentages just to compensate for depth issues?
Especially now that the division is suddenly competitive again, is that sustainable? Relying on guys playing 80% of the game week after week, that feels like the big, maybe unsustainable question hanging over the rest of their season.